Here are your AARP top tips on shortcuts to happiness. Research has found that people over 50 often get happier as they age. Along with proper sleep and diet, here are some more ways to boost your bliss, according to the experts. See the morning light. Sunlight boosts serotonin, a chemical your body produces to regulate mood and improve your ability to focus. Try taking a morning walk to absorb some sun. That early dose of daylight also helps you get better sleep at night. Get in micro-exercise. If you can't do a regular workout each day, at least take a short walk, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Or you can lift hand weights or do balance exercises. Even a small amount of exercise can help reduce stress. Tidy up. A little decluttering each day can also lighten your mood and ease your mind. Getting organized could lead to better sleep, improved relationships, and even weight loss. Reach out. See friends or visit family. Reconnect with old pals. If a good friend is far away, set an annual time and place to meet, or join a group and make new friends. Meditate. Just 5 minutes a day of quiet reflection can do wonders to relieve anxiety, neutralize negative thinking, and clear your mind. If you don't know how to get started, there's plenty of guidance available in books, classes, and apps. For more tips to stay healthy, visit aarp.org/health.
AARP, a not-for-profit, nonpartisan member organization, has been working to promote the health and well-being of older Americans for more than 60 years. AARP Illinois is proud to represent all 50 plus in Illinois and our 1.7 million members, and we thank you for the opportunity to be your wise friend and fierce defender. Our mission is to enhance the quality of life for all as we age, leading positive social change and delivering value to members through advocacy, service, and information. Did you know pickleball is America's fastest growing sport? And for good reason. This sport is easy to learn, gets people moving, is social and engaging. At AARP, we know that being active and having social connections is important for mental well being and overall health and happiness as we age. And pickleball supports a physically and socially active lifestyle. And AARP is excited to shine a brighter light on people 50 and over who play at any level. Remember, please consult your doctor before starting a new exercise regime. Thank you and enjoy today's program.
Hello, I'm Mike Mitchell. I'm one of the area ambassadors here for the United States Pickleball Association. We're here at the 5 Points in Washington, Illinois. We're going to be doing a demonstration on pickleball for beginners. Over here we have Karen. She's one of my helpers, Joyce, and Gary Norton. So we're going to explain a few things about pickleball, the court. I became an ambassador in 2013, so I've just been helping facilities get their pickleball venues together. So hopefully you'll enjoy the video and be able to pick some new things up. The United States Pickleball Association, USAPA.org, they list almost all of the pickleball venues in the United States. Go to that place and search on the state, and it'll have the city, and it'll show how many pickleball courts are there, what the hours are, what the play is, so on and so. That's probably your best one-stop source for pickleball information. You can get paddles online. I don't recommend getting aluminum or wooden paddles. Those are pretty basic, but outside of that, don't overthink it. A lot of paddles are about maybe running 50, 60 bucks. You can get them at some of your local sporting goods places. There's plenty of places online that you can get pickleball paddles from. Some places actually specialize in pickleball equipment. Okay, in this case, Gary, this is a composite. So you can see that right there. Certain paddles, sometimes they'll show different weights, different grip sizes. You can actually add grips. He has this little device here where if the ball is on the floor, instead of bending over, you can grip it like that and pick it up. Mine, I like the elongated ones. So as you can see, mine's a little bit longer. So all things being the same, I'd rather have the extra reach. Hers,
Says no mercy.
this says hers actually has the weight on it. 8.25 has the length and the width that way. So sometimes sometimes people want lighter paddles so they're quicker at the line. Some people like heavier paddles so that they have more power. Karen has the Rockney, which is not sure what this is, but it's probably composite. Hers does say it's Pickleball, USA Pickleball approved. Most paddles are Pickleball, USA Pickleball approved. And that's mainly if you're in a tournament, they want approved paddles. So for the most part,
Mine says no mercy.
we're all Pickleball approved paddles. Means that it's gone through the testing through the USAPA standards to meet, because certain paddles you can only have X amount of roughness. So you can't put sandpaper on it to increase your spin. Has to be within X amount of inches. Your paddle surface has to be a total or less than a total of X amount of inches. So mine may not be as wide, but it's longer, where hers is a little bit wider but shorter. So has to meet those standards. As far as weight, it can be any weight. Some people will actually add weight to it if they want more power. The paddle length is like, I have a short paddle length, and this is a little bit longer. I need to quit. So that's a few things to look for when you're looking for pickleball paddles. Number one, like I said, I don't recommend wooden paddles. Those are usually beginner grade paddles. They're heavy. People starting out with a heavier paddle, they start getting tennis elbow because of the extra weight and gripping it. So I would stay away from that. The aluminum ones, they're really thin and sometimes they come apart. So those two I would stay away from. Outside of that, find something. The first paddle I got it because of the color and the name. And I had that for years, so don't overthink it. A lot of paddles, when I started out, they were like $50. Now some of them are up to $150, $200. Don't go that far. Get with, actually, if you're playing pickleball with people and you're new, try out some of their paddles. And then from there, you might be able to figure out, hey, I like this paddle, and then start off with that. Outside of that, there's some cheap combos you can get, and then from there, if you feel like you need to upgrade, you can upgrade from there. No, not really. They do recommend, though, that like sometimes when we're done playing pickleball, we'll throw it in our car, and it could be hot in the car or cold in the car. They do recommend that you bring it indoors so it doesn't suffer the extreme temperatures. All right, first we're going to describe our court. So right here we have what we call the back line. Right here we have our center line. We have our side line, and we have what we call the kitchen line, or the no volley zone. This is the most important line in pickleball. This is what makes pickleball pickleball. So we also have our net. From the net to the kitchen is 7 feet. From the kitchen to the back line is 15 feet. So that's the basic dimensions of our pickleball court. Now, when we're serving, there's a couple things that you need to remember, okay? One thing is, when you're serving, your paddle and the ball, you have to hit the paddle or the ball below what's considered the waist or belly button. So that's how you make contact. When you're serving, you can't step on the line, you can't step in and make contact. You have to serve at least behind the line. Now you can actually hit the ball and then step in, but you have to make contact before you step into the kitchen or into the court. Also, when you're serving, the paddle head has to be below the wrist. So you can't hit the ball like this, because the paddle is above the wrist. So you want it down, and your arm has to end in an upward motion. So basically the look is going to be like that, okay? So another way of doing it is called the drop bounce, where basically you can have the ball at any height, you drop it, it can bounce as many times as you want before you strike it. So basically, it looks like this. All right, now the next step of pickleball is probably the most difficult, which is the scoring. When we're serving, we're the serving team, so we generally want to be back behind this line because we have a thing called the 2 bounce rule, which means when I serve, I'm going to serve cross court. They have to let the ball bounce once. When they return the ball, they can hit it anywhere that they want. And then we have to let it bounce before we hit it. So at the beginning of the game, we're going to say our score first, their score second, and which number server we're going to be. The only difference is at the first serve, that's going to be the only thing that's going to be different. So when we start out, I'm going to say my score is 0. I'm going to say their score is 0. And then I'm going to say 2, which means that after I lose my serve, it's going to go over there, and then each team will get 2 serves. So she'll be 1, the next player will be 2. When it comes back over here, I'll be 1, he'll be 2, and the first, whoever's on the right-hand side, they'll start the serving. So whenever the 2 person loses their serve, then it goes 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's why I'm going to say 0, 0, 2. So then if I serve, she has to let it bounce. We have to let it bounce. And if we lose our serve, then the serve will go over there. And then that person will say their score, our score, and then 1, and then 2, then back here 1, 2. Okay, so when we're serving, like I said, we're going to be back because we have to wait for that second bounce. Now on that side, if you notice, Joyce is up at the kitchen line. She doesn't have to worry about the return of serve. Karen is back receiving my serve. So when I hit the ball to Karen and she returns it, she's going to come up to the kitchen line. And that's where you want to be in pickleball. So now it's up to me and Gary to make ourselves come up to the kitchen line. So once we start hitting the ball back, we want to start getting up to the kitchen line. And this is where pickleball is played. So we want to try to stay in this area. Some people will play back, but then they're giving all of this area to our opponent. We don't want to do that. We want to be up here with them. And this is where pickleball is played. Now, the most important part of pickleball is what we call the kitchen or the non-volley zone. What that means is we cannot hit the ball and step into the kitchen out of the air, okay? We can be in the kitchen all day long as the ball is bouncing. So if we're doing a volley, keep the ball in the air. We have to stay behind the kitchen. But if I was to do this and step into the kitchen, that would be a fault because the ball didn't bounce. Now, we can all be in the kitchen. As long as the ball is bouncing, we can stay in the kitchen. That would, yeah. Now what she did, that would be a fault because she hit the ball out of the air and was still in the kitchen. So that's where you want to step in, hit the ball, get back out. A fault is basically when your team messes up or that team messes up and they get the other team gets a point. Also, when you're playing pickleball, you only score a point when your team is serving. So that's a huge point. So we could be volleying all day long, but if we mess up and we're serving, we don't get a point. So to play the game, it'll look like this. I'll say the score. Our score is 0. Their score is 0. And I'm going to say 2 because when I lose my serve, it's going to go to the other side. And whoever's on the right-hand side will be the first server, then the second server. Okay? 0, 0, 2. 1 bounce. 2 bounce. Now we're going to try to get up to the kitchen. All right, so we got a point. Since we were scoring, we got a point. So now, since we have a point, we'll switch sides. And I'll say the score, 1, 0, 2. 1 bounce, 2 bounce. Okay, now we lose our serve. So, since Karen's on the right-hand side, she'll be the first server. One bounce, 2 bounce. All right, so Joyce loses her point or her volley, so now Joyce will be the second server. One bounce, 2 bounce. Okay, they got a point, so they switch. Serve comes back over here to us. Gary will be the first server. Score is 1, 1, 1. 1 bounce, 2 bounce. Okay, we mess up. Now I get to serve. The score is 1, our score, 2, their score. I'm the second server. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. My fault. 1, 1, 2. Now I'm going to demonstrate the drop serve. 1 bounce. 2 bounce. So the score is 2, 1, 2. So I will demonstrate the drop serve. 1 bounce, 2 bounce. Okay, I was the second server. Since Joyce is on the right-hand side, she'll be the first server. One bounce, 2 bounce. Okay, they got a point. Okay, so when you and your partner in the serving position, it's always good to stay back, because when you're looking for that second bounce to come back, when I hit it to Karen, she has to let it bounce. When she hits it, we have to let it bounce. So instead of me hitting it and then running in, well, she could hit it behind me and I have to let it bounce. So now I have to back up to try to hit the ball. So it's better for us to stay back here. So even if she hits the ball all the way to the line, I can still return it. Also, when it comes to line calls, if the ball is coming and it hits on the line, that's a good shot. And if there's any doubt between you and your partner, if the line is in or out, it goes towards the other team. So in other words, I can't hit the ball and then look at my partner and say, hey, did you think it was in or out? And then they say, oh, I thought it was in. By me automatically doing that, I have doubt that it was in, and it automatically goes to the other team. So you always give the advantage to the other team if there's doubt. So when you're actually playing, some of the feet position or foot position that you want to be in See, I'm standing more side to side now. Notice I'm always getting back in the ready position with the paddle in front of me. After the game, win or lose, everybody comes to the center of the court, congratulates everybody. If they beat you real bad, go ahead and kick them in the shin. So hopefully you guys have all learned something and get out there and start playing. These are definitely just the basics. Get out there and play, you'll get better. There's a lot of people out there that'll teach you more things. And hopefully AARP will have some more videos out there for you. So thanks to my helpers, thanks to 5 Points in Washington, and hope to see you out on the courts.